Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be taking you and showing you what my dad's doing. He is out there collecting colubrid eggs, so yeah, I'm going to take you and show you what he does and how he sets them up, and let's go.
Hi, I'm Ward from Ward's World Reptile Propagation. We're going to show you a little bit today about collecting eggs and some of the things that we do during the egg laying season, especially for old timers like me or technology challenged. We like to keep everything very simple. So we'll come out here and we'll go through the egg containers, and like down here we have, you'll see ES on there. That way I know there's an egg slide in there. I also will write what it was bred to. And here's all the notes from the past years. You know, how many that she's laid that was good, how many was bad. That way I can keep a record to make sure that I'm not breeding a snake over and over and over. That's constantly laying with bad eggs. So that's an important thing to keep notes. Now, some people like to run to the computer to do it. Me, I just put it on a little sticky pad. And I make sure I put some brown tape on there so that way it doesn't fall off. But then what we'll do is we'll go through every one that says ES on it, and we'll check those because I know there's an egg slide in there. Now once they've laid, I'll write laid on the side over here. Kind of hard to see, but that way I know that that snake's already laid once. Alright.
Okay.
Alright, so up here we know we got a clutch of eggs right here. So this is our female Nelson right here. A splotched Nelson. Really quick, you can kind of see how I got the container set up with her little egg laying site and the water bowl. So once I find the eggs, what I generally want to do, I want to open the top. I want to make sure she's done laying. And usually if you just look down at the base of the tail here, you can see there's no more eggs in there. So I'll take the eggs out and then I'll move her back into the cage. And once I do that, what I'll do is I'll make up a piece of tape. What's today's date?
8.
And it says what it was bred to. So it was the aberrant or splotched female. Splotched female. And then what the male was, which was an albino splotched. Okay, so now I've got the female and the male wrote down, and then what I want to do is write the date they were laid, which is 5/8/20, and the date I expect them, which is about 60 days from now. So that will be 7/8/20, and then how many eggs were in the clutch that were good and how many were bad. In this clutch we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they were all good. So I'll just write on this here 8. And then I'll circle it. That way I know how many eggs are in the container. Alright, and then what I want to do is...
What's the one above it?
I want to take the tape off of here because I wrote down the date that she bred. That way I can reference every year, see whether she's going ahead of time or on time. And then I'll write the lay date on here. So I'll write laid 5/8/20, and how many eggs there were, which was 7 good and no bad ones. That's what we like to hear. And then I'll just put that right up here again. Alright, so now that's all take. Then what I'll do is I'll just erase the ES for egg site, and I will put I'll write on it laid over here to the side. That way I know she laid. Now another thing I do too is when I start putting them with the males, every time I do, because I have a lot of females going to one male, and I don't want him me to accidentally skip a female. So what I'll do is I'll take my marker and then I'll write, whenever I put a male in there, I'll just make a little dash like that, and that lets me know that there's a male in there. So now like this one up here, there's been a male with her, she's ovulated, and then I put the male with her again. Generally what I'll do is what's called palpating. So what I'll do is I'll just gently run my finger down the snake like that, and you can, you gotta watch out for that. You gotta turn, you can almost count the number of eggs. Once I feel the eggs in her, I'll put the male in with her one last time to make sure they're fertilized, and then when I pull him out later that day or the next day, then I'll put the egg site in there, and I'll erase all the the stuff and put ES on it.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that you don't push too hard so you don't hurt the snake.
Yeah. All right, you ready to go in? Okay, then what we want to do when we come in, we went ahead and just got another one of these egg laying sites with just the food storage container. And you see we've cut the hole in the lid there. So what we're going to want to do is seal that up and incubate the eggs in the container. So I take some clear packing tape, just put it over the top. Then we'll flip it over because that's sticky right there. Don't want any babies stuck to it. And we'll do the bottom. Okay, now make sure when we want to use this again for an egg laying site, we just take and cut this out right there, and there we go. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and we're going to grab some vermiculite. Alright, this is the kind of vermiculite that we use. You want to make sure that it's organic, doesn't have any fertilizers added to it. A lot of Miracle-Gro stuff does have the fertilizer added to it, which is not good for your eggs. So this is what I use right here. Okay, now what you want is about an inch layer of vermiculite here, and then if you're not experienced with mixing it, you're going to want to do it by weight. So get you a diet scale that weighs in grams, and to make sure if you use 100 grams of vermiculite, you use 100 grams of water. So that's going to be a lot of vermiculite to very little bit of water. So now I mix it up. And I've been doing this a long time so I can get the feel pretty good. You just want it where it's just barely moist. You don't want it too wet. It's better to go too dry than too wet, because a snake egg that starts to dimple up because it's being dehydrated, you can always add a little water to the mix and it'll plump back up. But if it's too wet and it drowns the embryo, you're not ever getting it back. Okay, now what we want to do is we're just put one little hole right here in the front, about 1/8 of an inch. That's all you need. You don't want it too many holes because that'll limit air circulation too much and it'll dry it out a lot faster. Usually with this one little hole, I usually don't have to worry about it for the whole 2 months of incubation. All right, now we're going to reach in here and we're going to take our eggs out of the egg laying site. And I'm going to put them up towards the front. That way another clutch can go back here. And then what I want to do is, this is barely damp vermiculite right here, or not vermiculite, but sphagnum moss. And I like to put a layer of that across the top.
Why?
Because that way condensation doesn't collect on the top and drip down on the eggs. This will help absorb that and spread it out evenly. I have another clutch of eggs here, which are banana calkins. We'll gently move them. Try to keep the orientation of the egg the same way. You don't want to be rolling them over and upside down and all. Okay, and it's generally helpful too if you can get a marker or something and then just maybe mark the top of the eggs that could roll on you. Usually if they're clumped together like that, they don't have a tendency to roll, but better safe than sorry. All right, then we're going to take a little bit more of the damp sphagnum moss, put it on top. Now we want to make sure that we have the labels. So the first one in was the Nelson's milk snake. So we put that right under the hole, like that. And the second one, these are the ones I wrote up out in the garage. So now I got them all ready to go. All right, now this one I'll put right underneath it. That way I know the one on top is the one in snake eggs in the front, and the one on the bottom is the snake eggs in the back. And then we just wait 60 to 80 days. Incubating at 82 degrees approximately, and then we'll have little babies. So thanks for joining in.